Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Looking at a pretty nice slate on Wednesday here in the NBA. I've got 7 player prop projections, some really strong leans that I like for tonight's games. Still got some injury reports that we need to wait on. A bunch of teams on a back-to-back after the NBA Cup kicked off last night. So going to be waiting on that stuff. Definitely jump in the live show. We'll talk about that more. But feeling good about the record. 2.14 units that we won last night. Weird night on Monday, went 2-3, lost a unit there, but still up more than 4 on the season. So we're going to keep it going here with some nice plays that we got for Wednesday. That all sounds good. Go ahead and give that video a like and let's get right into it. As I'm giving you these leans here, if you do want to make sure you don't miss a single bet that I'm making, put in about 3 or 4 after I put out the video yesterday after we got more lineups. So jump into the link of the description of the video, link to the WAP page is in there. You can also get 40% off when you jump in that VIP Discord right now and get yourself a little bit, bypass that monthly fee and just go ahead and pay it up front for a nice discount there, 40% off if you want all these NBA plays. Let's look at Scotty P Jr. right now because he's had some weird games, but without Ja, he's really good. This team has just been blowing other teams out, and as a result, Scotty P's minutes have been down a little bit. But without Desmond Bane, without Ja once again tonight, we're looking at the starting point guard, and in a game against the Lakers that should be closer than the blowouts they've been handing out to teams like the Washington Wizards, then he should be looking at about 35 minutes as the starting PG for this, just filling right into the Ja role. Even though he doesn't get out in transition as much, really good rebounder for his size and for his position, and has about 8 assists per game in the last 3 without Ja, including one where he only had a few the other night, right? So he's got some really nice numbers here and is consistently getting over the rebounds and assist prop that he has laid out for him here. So when you look at LA, turnstile of a defense, 5th most assists per game that they allow. They're 24th in defensive rating. They're bottom 5 in terms of limiting fast break. So all the stuff that Scotty P is going to want to get in transition, he's going to have to his availability. And even in the half court, we've got D'Lo healthy, which means D'Lo is going to be out on top of the perimeter. Even if he's not Scotty's direct matchup, we'll see how they line up. But even if he's not out there, you can still hunt D'Lo, who's just one of the worst defenders on the perimeter in the league. So love Scotty P to take advantage of that tonight and get his rebounds and assists for sure. Also, another reminder that we have the live show every day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Enjoying the looks that you guys are bringing. So you come into there, bring your bets, and jump in the comments, and we'll go through all the bets that you guys want to look at together. I'll show you the tools that I'm using, and we'll get this money. So definitely join today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Looking at J-Dub and his boards, because you're talking about the center, the man playing the center position for the Oklahoma City Thunder right now is 6'7" Jaylen Williams. If you want to call him that, it's center by committee, but he's the biggest guy on the floor and the best rebounder on the floor at this point. So I like him to get his boards once again, and they're getting a little bit high, but he had 12 rebound chances in the last game, pulled down 8. He's actually gone over in 4 of 7 versus New Orleans since last season. Obviously, that includes the playoffs, but 2 of 3 in the regular season. And New Orleans is just not good at much, like 15th in opponent rebounds allowed, but they're not a good defense right now. They're not a good rebounding team right now. And Yves Missy is going to be playing center alongside some Daniel Tice for that Pelicans squad. But I think J-Dub, with the amount of minutes he's going to be playing and how needed he is as a big man right now, he's going to be good to get those boards, especially guarding bigger guys down low where he's going to be available to get those boards. So love him to be able to get his boards in this one. Points probably there, but I'm seeing a pretty easy blowout for OKC. So I like the rebounds as New Orleans should be missing a bunch of shots when Jaylen is out there for the most part in the first half. We'll see how many minutes he gets into that fourth quarter. Sticking in that same game, while J-Dub's getting boards, Lou Dort's going to be putting Brandon Ingram in the torture chamber. So we're going to be fading Brandon Ingram points most likely. Haven't put this bet in yet, but I think even at 23.5, you can go under on BI in this situation. OKC is already very good at limiting primary ball handlers, primary scorers, the number one option. And that is this man without a doubt, right? With a bullet. He is the number one option. He's going to have the ball in his hands a ton alongside Brandon Boston, who we'll talk about because Jose Alvarado is out. And Alvarado being out might mean you're a little bit more worried about going under for BI. He might have more shots because Alvarado's out. But I mean, he's already looking at 20 plus in this game. And even if he can get to 20 plus, I don't think they're going to be good shots because he's just going to be, like I said, not only in that torture chamber, but everyone's going to be locked in on him because there's nobody else that you really have to worry about as a scorer off the dribble, right? Brandon Boston, good shooter, fast dude, good player. Both he and BI are going to be bottled up. Now, I wouldn't be fading the assists for BI because I do think if he wants to, he'll be able to get the ball out of his hands over the defense and find some guys. But I don't love it. I would still just rather fade the points than even going over on the assists and just leave it at that. Let's get into some Brandon Boston stuff here because the young dude's good. I had a lot of people in the VIP Discord go, who the hell is Brandon Boston when I started talking about him? But he is a good 3-level scorer and has been good since he was a top tier recruit coming out of high school. He is now the clear-cut point guard of this team, and he was last game as well. We saw Trey Murphy III come back for his first game. That completely took away all of Brandon Boston's shots. He barely put the ball up, and I think he went into the half with 0 points, but already had about 6 assists and like 5 rebounds. So I like him on both in this game. I really like him on the assists, especially because we're coming in against an OKC team that we know is going to pressure the ball and force it out of the hands of the primary ball handlers. It's going to be Brandon Boston alongside BI. In fact, Brandon Boston had more touches, more passes, more potential assists last game than Brandon Ingram. And I think that's going to continue here with 15 in the last one, 10 dimes that he got, 15 potentials, I should say. And we're going up against an OKC team that gives up assists to the primary ball handler because they want to force the ball out of that person's hands. Now, BI is going to be the person who they force the ball out of the most, but Brandon Boston's not going to have his way going to the bucket or getting through that defense on the perimeter. So he's either going to have to put that shot up from deep, or he's going to be looking for guys off the drive as opposed to being able to finish. With Alvarado out as well, even more opportunities for assists. Not that Alvarado even really ate into his assists last game, as he only had like 5 potential assists, but that's still 5 potential assists that are probably coming towards Brandon Boston's way. I think he's good for another 12 to 13 potentials in this game, so I like him to get the assists in addition to the rebounds. Love the assists the most, but I think both are good in this one. Another under that we got to look at here is DeAndre Aton versus Rudy Gobert and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm going to be fading his points and rebounds most likely. I don't know if he's gotten out of the doghouse by just missing one game, but his injury last game was a faux injury against this Timberwolves squad that they lost to the other night. But I think that's a big reason for why this Minnesota team is going to come out and smack Portland. I think that the fact that they just lost as 9-point favorites, coming back a couple nights later as 9-point favorites once again, got to take them to bring it in this game and really make sure they seal the deal early by smacking the crap out of Portland. And if it's a blowout, then Ayton ain't playing. He ain't playing. He's not playing because he doesn't play in blowouts. They have too many guys behind him, like 7th overall pick Donovan Clingan, for those of you who aren't familiar with the 2-time national champ for the Huskies. And then they also have Dwop Reith. And even when Robert Williams III is out there, they're giving him some blow as well. Not that I don't think he's going to be available for this one. We'll see. But either way, we're talking about a team that has like 4 centers. They're not trying to win. They want to give their young guys minutes. And as soon as this thing gets out of hand, which I think will be by the second quarter, then we're talking about a lot fewer minutes for DeAndre Aton, who sat most of the game for the last 2 that they've gotten blown out, right? Playing like 20 minutes a game, not even in one of them. And his last 6 versus Rudy, also unsuccessful. So in a normal matchup where he's playing 30, still not really a good matchup for him. His props are a little bit low for someone who would be playing 30, 32 minutes, but I don't see that for him. Even if this is not a blowout, I still don't see it for him. And I don't think he's going to play because of the blowout. But either way, bad matchup for him versus Rudy. Let's take the under on the combined PR for him. One more under before we get to an over, another one. But James Harden, points and assists, I think is a good fade. To be clear, leave the rebounds out of this. He's been a rebounding master for basically the whole season right now, averaging near double-digit rebounds, I should say. But the points and assists have been something that have dwindled for him since a very hot start to the season. In his last 4, he's down to 20 a game, 7 dimes, just shooting 32% from the field and 33% from 3. And this is not a good matchup for him to get the assists, especially. Maybe you want to leave out the points and you just want to fade the assists, but I don't like either for him against a Houston defense that is allowing the fewest in the league assists, points in the paint, fast break points, 3-point attempts. This is how James Harden scores and assists. He gets into the lane, passes it to Zubac, or kicks it out for 3. Neither of those things are available under Ime Udoka and the Houston Rockets. And the assists, as we know, they pressure the ball carrier. They foul the ball carrier because Dylan Brooks is probably going to be the primary matchup for him. But even if he's not, we're talking about Amen Thompson out there as well. And I love that in this matchup, we're going to be probably seeing more defensive players because Fred VanVleet, not a good defensive point guard, is questionable to play, and I think you give Amen Thompson a little bit more burn in this one. He started the last game with Fred VanVleet missing, and I would imagine that he's inserted into the starting lineup again. That's just one more really long, rangy plus defender out there to help guard Harden and all of the players off of Harden that he might want to pass to, including Zubac, who struggles a ton versus the Rockets at 8 points per game and 5 boards per game under playing against the Rockets since they've had Ime Udoka as their coach. So I love the way that the Rockets play defense to limit guys like Harden and Zubac, to be honest. But I'm going to take the points and assists a fade for Harden in this one. I think we're getting some value on Vooch, some Vooch value here as he's going up against the Knicks. And we all know of the Knicks as this world-beating defensive team that doesn't let you get anything down low because they have Mitch Robinson and Isaiah Oh, wait, they don't have either of those guys. So they're not good anymore. They have Karl Anthony Towns. Do you remember what kind of jokes we've been making about Cat and his ability to play defense since forever, and especially last year in the playoffs where everyone's fading him because he's unplayable when he can't guard? Well, they don't have a choice. He's going to be playing, and he's going to be playing a lot, and he's going to be guarding Vooch. And I like that for Vooch, who still needs to come down from whatever high he's on, shooting 46% from three. Not a 46% three-point shooter. Very few people in the world are. Yet he's doing it on just 4.5 attempts per game. That's going to come down at some point, but I don't even think he needs the threes to get his points against Cat and the Knicks. They're in the bottom half of the league, allowing points to the center position. I think Vooch is going to be good for that. The 10th most threes made and the 10th most allowed to the center position as well. So if Vooch is going to have the opportunity to take 4 or 5 threes, I only need him to really hit one to get his points prop, which is pretty low at about 16, 17 and a half points. The man's averaging almost 22 on the season, or 21 on the season, and his median number is about 21 and a half. So success against the Knicks as well. Had that in the last couple seasons. 2 of the last 3 games, he's gone over this, averaging 24 or so a game against a team that was better on defense against his position last year and still couldn't really stop Vooch and the play style that he has. So like him to get his points tonight, as it's being undervalued and is a low total. One more reminder, outlier.bet. You're going to see it on the live show today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Best one-stop shop research tool that you can use to get everything you need when finding your bets and value. Come in there in the live show. I'll be using it and can show you some tricks and tips to help you out with it. But I got a free trial in the description of the video with a link that you can use to get 7 free days and try it out for yourself before you ever have to buy it. Just want to help you guys out if it's something you're interested in. But that is all the time we have for you. So make sure to jump into the comments of this video. Give that video a like. See you at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with your bets in the live show. And until I see you next, happy betting.